Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I want to do sort of a walkthrough Gemstone Legends video showing some of the stuff that I've talked about. So I've covered some tips videos, which you can find in the description down below. And I want to kind of put those things into practice and do sort of a let's play video. This is sort of a learning experience for me too, because this is a new game. A lot of the informational resources that were there for Empires and Puzzles aren't totally there yet for this game. And so I think we're all trying to figure this out as we go. Some people know a lot more, but I trust my ability to grasp it. There's just a lot to learn because it's different and there's a lot of room for strategy. So I want to just play through some map stages, maybe try to advance. So real quick, if you are interested in checking out this game, there is a download link in the description below with a promo code of a $50 value to give you 50 free summons and gold and gems. So if you're interested in checking out this game with me, which I definitely suggest you should give it a try, find those links in the description down below, and you can see in the video here what to do. So you'll want to download the game, complete the tutorial. Within 3 hours of finishing the tutorial, within 3 hours of downloading the game after you finish the tutorial, enter the code #Spock hashtag in the global chat, which is, if you're looking at your base, it is the little area where you can type messages down below. So enter it in there and you should have no problems. Maybe we'll start in the Rift actually and see. I'll just try to advance from the place I'm at right now and I want to talk about the damage stuff, putting a team together, and just kind of put as much of the tips that I've talked about into practice as much as possible, to kind of make it make sense a bit more. So we're going to do that. We can see here we're fighting purple. It's really important to think about the color stuff in this game. But I don't have a lot of good yellow heroes. I do have some, and the other thing to keep in mind is that if you bring yellow, this purple guy is going to go heavily after those yellows as well. So I think I might avoid it in this situation because it's not purely an advantage for me. And you can see some of the stats here, like the 24,000 HP. The speed of 207 is really key. I don't have any heroes that are anywhere near that. That's a number that you would increase with equipment, because equipment's really important in this game. I've not gotten that far into the equipment yet, but it's something that I'm learning about soon, or continuing to learn about. So we're going to say engage. I'm going to pick what I think will be my best team. I sort of like this team. I've got one healer here. So I've kind of got like, this Aurora hero is like an attack buffer, and she puts up a protective shield, which is sort of like temporary HP. It's kind of just like healing as well, but it can overheal, but only to a certain amount. Like it doesn't add to itself every time, it just kind of replaces itself. This guy, is a healer and also grants immunity and reflect. She puts this assassin's mark, which deals more damage when it gets hit by something afterwards. She hits all and does burn damage, and then he hits all and decreases speed and can inflict freeze. So you can see the speed here, only 117. I don't have good equipment on him, but that's where you can really make up these numbers and have a strong advantage. So we're not going to be disadvantaged against the color of the boss here. And I know I need to use a few potions for, let's see, what would we want to use here? I know I need to use a few potions for the monthly quest. So we'll add those. I think we're well equipped. The other thing you want to think about is the dragon that you're bringing with you. Depending on how difficult the enemy I'm facing is, sometimes I like to use this healing one. This one's nice because it also, 20% chance to inflict freeze and 100% chance to inflict decreased speed. So kind of like that Elias hero. This is another popular one, Mana Choke and Heal Block. I don't think either of these are healing, so I think the freeze is probably the best, and we'll see if I'm totally out of my element in terms of the just having the one healer. Okay, so we're going to hit fight and, oops, turn off auto. So let's go in here real quick. How to play is in this menu section. Everything you'll need to know is covered in here, and they're really generous with providing a lot of information, which is great because it didn't feel as available in Empires and Puzzles, and I like that they try to make this as clear as possible. So if you want to know about any of this stuff, be sure to check this out. What I want to think about while attacking is if we can do anything with color affinity. So I talked about this in another video, and there's the potential to deal 60% higher damage with gemstones. You can only do 30 damage more or less with these special skills. And where does that say that in here? So in the paragraph right below all the colored text, for special abilities, modifiers only appear when there is a color affinity between the attacking hero and the attacked hero and gives plus 30% or minus 30%. So I think that means that's sort of interesting because in Empires and Puzzles you can only deal more damage, but here you can deal less if you're, say, attacking a green hero with blue, for example. So yeah, I just want to look at some of the stuff while we're making our matches here. So everyone's purple, so it doesn't really matter which attacking hero we're talking about. This is purely going to be based on the color of the gemstones. And if we look at that, we can see, where's a good example? So here, to do extra damage against purple, we would need yellow. We don't have any yellow. So what that means is, where's a good example? It's sort of like this last bullet point, blue hero versus red. Actually, I wonder if it is. Because my thinking, and we'll see, we can tell by the color, my thinking is that if regardless of what hero I'm attacking with, if I attack with yellow, I would expect that to do the 30% more damage because that is the strong color. And I did see one strong attack in there, so I think that would be from the yellow. So let's see what we're working with here. Sometimes you just get wrecked coming into these levels. If you can see the counter above, there's going to be 3 waves here, so we want to make sure we're going into the final wave with some, immunity. No, she doesn't have immunity. This guy has immunity. Right? Yes. So we want to make sure we have some of these prepared because the final stage is the boss wave, and that's where it can be the most dangerous. So here we can go with attack everyone, decrease speed, attack everyone, do some burn damage. And we don't have many yellows to match, so the other thing you want to think about is this red hero is the one whose turn it is, and you can also see that confirmed up above. So we want to match red tiles, 1, because she gains double the mana on her turn, and 2, because those should be hitting for more damage. You can also select who you want to hit. So if you're going to have like a really good turn, you might not want to waste it on someone with low health. So maybe I'll go for this guy who has the highest health. And you want to look for clever combos because you can make diagonal matches as well. I don't see anything that good, but maybe I'll match this purple one because it had a combo modifier. So it didn't look like we dealt any extra damage that time. Okay, so this Assassin's Mark just lands on them, and then when we deal damage, so it's good to do that before you're going to hit with an AoE attacker because then you just get a bunch of extra damage. Okay, so now we have another red hero. It's his turn, so we might as well use this ability and then try to match again. Does it say what his stats are? No, we'll look at that in between, how to get an idea of how many tiles you're going to have to match. So let's see, it wasn't quite enough for him. So we'll just use her, move on to the next wave. And then it's a red hero's turn, so we'll match some reds. That should fill her mana bar up again. All right, we got everyone ready. So then we can go attack up, deal some damage, deal some more damage. I could have done that assassin's mark first, but I'm gonna save that because I'm not really having any trouble with this wave. And then we can make some more matches. Okay, so the suggested move there is actually pretty clever because it allows us to get 5 greens bulked together. Okay, so that time we did critical hits with green. Interesting. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out some of this color affinity stuff. If you figured out more than I have, please share that in the comments down below. This is where there's a lot more possibility for how colors can work than there are in Empires and Puzzles. And so it's a little bit trickier to figure out, but I like that there's more depth there. I'm not opposed to there being more of a learning curve because I know that once I get a really strong handle on it, there's a lot of really sort of tactile control you can have over what to do when. So it's a red hero's turn. She's already charged. We also don't have that many red tiles. So this could, or gemstones, I guess I should say. So you don't okay, so that's a cool move, the suggested one. We're gonna match we can move diagonally with that, and we're gonna get the greens and blues in the same turn, which is nice. So there's a setting in here to turn on the indicators, and those show when the gemstones are gonna deal extra damage. So it looks like there aren't any of those indicators, even for yellow matches, which means that yellow tiles wouldn't deal extra damage since we don't have any yellow heroes. And what I mean by that is if you look at this thing at the top here, it would take a yellow hero to deal extra damage to purple regardless of what color tiles they're matching. So we're pretty much all charged up here. I'm going to choose the hero with more HP in this situation. That wasn't quite enough. All right. So remember, his speed was really high, so that's why he got to go first. And now we're going to hit him with everything we got. Okay, we've got this dragon too. It might have been good to save that because I think we just doubled up our decreased speed that he placed. So that's a move that could have been a little bit more strategic. It's a blue hero's turn, so we're going to match blues. He's got a pretty good mana gain, so I think he only needs maybe 5 tiles to be fully charged. So I'm not going to match any more blues so that I don't deplete the board of more than I need. I'm going to save him too because we already have this speed decrease there, and the speed decrease, to my understanding, is going to change the turn order up here because speed is what dictates who goes when, and then the mana stat is what determines how many tiles it takes to charge that hero. So I think we're going to want to keep that speed boost active for as long as possible. So we're going to save that. Wow, it's still lingering at the 2 turns. That's interesting. It's not disappearing as quickly as I would expect. So we've got a great blue match here, so I think this is a good time to use our blue hero again. And you can see the extra damage. So the first hit was 1500 from Elias, and that was a critical hit, and then you saw the yellow number flash up afterwards, and that indicates like status effect damage, and that was the assassin's mark. So that was even more than the upfront hit, and it seems like it varies depending on how much damage the hit itself is doing. And I don't know how good of an effect that is, but I do know that it does seem to be powerful when used before other AoE type hits. So all of our heroes have this protective shield that's still active. You can see the white HP overlaid above everything else. So I think I'm going to save Aurora. We also have our attack boost active still. So it looks like Elias could use some regular health though, so maybe we'll use our standard healer there. And then yeah, are we going to see yellows dealing extra damage here? Yeah, it's unclear which of those was strong and which was not. You saw the strong indicator there, but these are some of the things that I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, so yeah, they like to pick on certain heroes. Wow. And so now we're going to want to get our protective shield up again. Get some decreased speed from our dragon. And okay, I think I know how to test the yellow thing that I want to test, which is if I match only yellows in one turn, will it deal extra damage? Oh, well, that was a really weak hit. That was weird. Okay, so we're going to use our Assassin's Mark because you only need to kill the hero in the middle in these rift battles. Okay, so let's match yellow only. And to do that, after you make your first initial match, you can see up there I still have 2 more moves to make. You can move any tile anywhere. It doesn't have to make a match. So in the interest of testing this out, I can just move anything. And it did say strong, and you can see that Assassin's Mark did like 1800 extra damage, so that was pretty big. Let me see if I can find where it says a little bit more about the Assassin's Mark. So I think if I go in here and look at the Heroes Tooltip, it has all the buffs and ailments in here. Yeah, there we go. Which you can see there are a ton of, which is pretty awesome. That's just a lot more that you can do. So we want to go down here to Assassin's Mark. Explodes on hit and deals damage based on 15% of target's HP. That's what it is. That seems quite powerful, and you can see based on the other attacks, this was often dealing the most damage compared to those other hits, which are based on like the hero's own attack power. So I think Assassin's Mark is something that would be really powerful against high HP targets, because if you can, chunk out 15% of that each time, that's quite strong. Okay, so let's try one more. Let's try one more of these battles. I don't want the video to be too long, but I do want to be able to talk through some of this stuff. So you can see we're on 8 now, and this is a red enemy. So it will be really smart of us to stack blue. So let's do that. Red wouldn't be bad. Well, it would be a little bit bad. We would be dealing neutral damage a lot of the time. So let's bring as much blue as we can. So maybe we'll go with this guy, and this guy. And so you're looking at the background and not the border to determine the color. Though the blue backgrounds also happen to have a blue border because they're also rare heroes. But you can see even as rare heroes, they're ascended to 4 stars, and I'll probably take them higher because those two, Ultan and Prodan, are a couple that you see often at the top of the leaderboard. Ultan does defense down, Prodan does, I think, decreased attack. Deals damage, 50% chance to inflict freeze, 50% chance to inflict decrease attack. Okay, so this will be our last battle. I forgot to use potions too. I could have saved Elias. I can't remember if he actually died or not. Okay, so we're really well set up to deal with a red boss and red enemies. So that's what we'll do. So we're attacking with a blue hero, which means that from my recollection, so this is going to be blue versus red. So blue gemstones are going to be doing the 60% extra damage, and then all the rest of the gemstones except for green, which is the weak color, are going to do 30%. So we definitely want to prioritize blue, and we want to avoid green, which we don't have any green. Yeah, I guess we'll do the suggested move. I'd like to make the big red match there, but there's not really an advantage to doing so. Unfortunately, we can't match any more blues, which means we're not going to charge up our hero, but we can make a few other combos here. Alright, we didn't select a target, but you can see those are all strong hits. Alright, another blue hero, and now we can make a large blue combination. And you can see based on our blue heroes, the hero whose turn it is currently gains double the mana basically, and the other ones gain, just the single amount. Or maybe the hero whose turn it is gains the normal amount and the other ones gain half as much. It's the ratio is the same, but I'm not sure which of those is technically correct. So we definitely want to avoid green. We might as well tack another blue on here. I think I chose my target too late, so we kind of wasted some hits there, which I'll have to remember. Okay, so we're going to try to go attack up, defense down. Since it's only a... where is it? 100% chance to deal defense down, but somehow they still resisted, which is interesting. I think each hero has some sort of a resistance value. All right, so we might as well capitalize on the defense down. All of these are AoE hitters, so let's just go for some big hits here. I don't want to finish off the wave with a special skill and then not have anything next, so let's just try to get rid of some of these dead tiles, though keep in mind you can see that those were strong last time, and that's because we're not matching greens. So as long as we avoid greens, we're going to be doing heavy hits. Another thing you can look at is up above, which of these heroes do I want to kill first? You can see she's going to have a sooner turn, so let's try to kill her first. So even though we match some greens, we're also getting purples. Reds and yellows, sure. Okay. You might as well go for some blues again. We'll avoid greens, but except I am going to match these because it will also combo these yellows afterwards. And we'll increase the modifier, and then what the heck? We'll bring this green modifier in as well. Alright, it's a good time to match blues again. That should be plenty to charge her and to kill this last hero. Alright. So now we have attack up again. Defense down. Only one resist. Then we'll hit everyone. And make some moves here. So there's a lot of room to make really clever plays on the board. And I'm still figuring some of those out, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 turns before they get to go, so hopefully I can wipe them out. One thing that's definitely different with this game versus Empires and Puzzles is that there's no sort of splash damage for your combos. So you can see that all of the moves I make are always going to hit a single hero every time. So just keep that in mind. Kind of want to get rid of all these greens, make a big move for reds as well, and I don't need to match any blues this turn, even though it will deal extra damage because the hero in question is already charged, so I think it's smarter if I save those blues. Okay, so we're not going to be able to kill both of these heroes before they have a turn, so what we can do is look at who seems more dangerous. Gains increased defense, then deals damage based on defense. So that sounds like a lot of damage. Deals damage based on attack, and then gains increased speed. So this is the hero we want to kill first, because that increased speed is not going to matter. Because this hero is going to be dead in the next turn. So let's take her out, which should be no problem. That was a huge combo in terms of damage. All right, now what do we have? Everyone's charged up, so We pretty much just want to avoid green, so we'll get some purples going in there too. I'm going to make as big of moves as possible. That might not be enough to kill. Nope, we got a good hit on the last one. So again, very high speed stat for these enemies, so that's why they got to go first. And now we're going to hit them with everything we've got. Which didn't do a whole lot of damage, did it? Okay. The rift seems to be more difficult than some of the other areas. You can see these, the damage things are back. You can see the double arrows there and the single arrows on that one, which indicate the strength of those tiles. And you can see how greens have nothing, which means they're going to be neutral. Whereas these yellows, for example, are going to be 30% extra damage. Okay. So, not a ton of blues to work with, so we can just try to get rid of some of these excess tiles. So he's got a turn next turn, which means we should try to decrease the attack if we can. It was resisted though. Seem to also resist the decreased speed, so we'll reset it there. And yeah, should be a decent attack. All right, that's gonna hurt. So what is his skill? I see this secondary damage popping up. Oh wait. Oh, those are passives. Receives 50% less damage from bleeding, poison, burn, and assassins. After receiving 30 gemstone attacks, deals damage based on 336% attack and true damage based on 30%. So true damage means it doesn't factor in the defensive stat. So that's pretty dangerous. Alrighty, maybe we can get these blues to combo. Not quite. Got some big hits though that turn. So yeah, we're kind of getting smacked around here a little bit. Does he have something where at a certain point, some of them like below a certain HP get a lot crazier. So I wanted to make sure we weren't going to lose this. This would be a battle where, if I'm really challenging myself, it could be good to bring the healing dragon just to have a little bit more extra health. Because I actually don't have a healer on this team. I just have a protective shield. That was an oversight on my part. All right, we can get a couple blue matches here. And I'm looking for another big cascade. I guess it's better to grab another blue gemstone. All right, resisted. Oh, and it looks like he's got attack up too, which is acutely dangerous for us. Yeah, 50% attack. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I don't see any great moves. All right, so decrease speed. Okay, we're almost out of trouble here, but not quite yet. So there's a big combo boosting gemstone. There's a way to match 2 colors in 1 turn. And wow, those are some huge hits. All right, and this is where you can get some extra artifacts. Let's see what we got. A rare weapon. Equipping 4 artifacts gives 45% attack boost, but minus 20% HP. So that's an interesting trade-off. The Berserker. So I haven't made up my mind on equipment yet, so I'm not going to do anything with that. All right, well, you can see that you can then move on from that point. We're over at green, so we could use a red team, which is probably my best at this point. But hopefully that gives you a better idea of what these things look like in practice. you don't need to get everything perfect on the first try. There's going to be a lot of learning as you go, and that's the position that I'm in right now too. But let me know if it's helpful. Let me know if you have other questions, what kind of videos you want to see. The game designers are very open to your feedback and my feedback, and I'm also very interested in your feedback as well to let me know what kind of stuff you guys want to see, particular things that are confusing or anything like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell icon. In the description down below, you can find a download link as well as a promo code to get 50 free summons, which is a $50 value with a bunch of gold and gems. So a good way to check out the game and get an idea whether it feels fun to you. And I'll keep doing videos trying to demystify some of the more complex elements to make it just an all-around enjoyable experience. But a lot of people from Empires and Puzzles have come over already and are really enjoying the game. You can see that kind of stuff in the comments on these videos as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.